Welcome back to Backstage Pass, the show where we talk about the newest movies and how they are created. We're your hosts, Leo Overstreet
and Ava Jones.
And today we're talking about the latest movie in the Avatar trilogy, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Avatar: Fire and Ash was released in theaters on Friday, December 19th, 2025. The film stars Zoe Saldana as Neytiri, Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, and Sigourney Weaver as Kiri. The film was directed by James Cameron, also known for directing, writing, and producing the film Titanic. Avatar: Fire and Ash is the third of the Avatar series and marks the end of James Cameron's original saga. However, two more sequels in 2029 and 2031 are still in the cards, depending on the success of this latest movie. Fire and Ash follows the Sully family as they mourn the loss of Neteyam and face a new Na'vi tribe known as the Ash People, who worship fire and conflict, all still having to deal with Colonel Quaritch's relentless pursuit. These conflicts test their unity and introduce a darker, more morally complex side to Pandora's culture, all narrated by Loak. And it's at this point where we remind you that anything past this point might contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie already, make sure to watch that first.
James Cameron says that in Avatar: Fire and Ash, the adventures and wonders of Pandora were still a big part of this movie, but he gave himself permission to do more than that and to focus on the characters. Specifically, he wanted to dive deeper into who the kids of the Sully family were. For example, Took, the youngest, helped solidify what the family was fighting to protect. Them being more solid characters helped us view all perspectives of the Sully family conflicts as well. He also said that he gave himself permission to push these characters to their limit. He used Neytiri as an example. Her grief comes out in a hatred for humans, and quoting him, he says, "That makes her racist. Okay, fine. Let's see where that takes us." He wanted to take this story to a darker and deeper level and worry less about appeasing to the audience. And to that I say, mission accomplished.
Pandora being filled with different types of environments, James Cameron made sure to dive into the lands of the planet. In the sequel, audiences can be toured in the realm of fire and ash, having ashy ruins and ember fires scattered throughout the lands. With it being ashy, there's barely any sunlight seen on these grounds, so keep a lookout on those wild beasts lurking in the dust. It's reminiscent of the Lion King's elephant graveyard, both ashy and deadly. With adding new types of environments, viewers can also see new types of Na'vi. In this movie, the Ash People, having hints and splashes of red scattered throughout their body, mostly the face. With this, we can determine there are 4 types of beings on Pandora: the original Na'vi, the Met-Kaina, the Ash People, and the bad guys, humans. Who knows what's next for Avatar 4?
The Avatar series is entirely CGI. So, in order to make these movies, the actors have to wear gear to capture every move that they make, from their hands to their eyebrows. And they do this in what is called a volume, which is their stage of sorts, where they are performing. This is part of what makes Avatar so cool, because in most CGI, the actors are not the ones doing the performance captures. But as Sam Worthington said in an interview for Avatar: The Way of Water, everything that Jake Sully does, Sam has done. And this is the case with all the Avatar movies, and it's what helps the characters to be so expressive and nuanced, and something we take for granted is how the visuals completely match the voice and the tone, which is not always the case. And this is because it's completely based on the actor's performance.
Over the years, many groups and artists have created songs to go with the Avatar trilogy. In the past, they have hired The Weeknd and Lenoa Lewis. For this project, Miley Cyrus joins the bunch by writing and performing the song Dream as One. Listeners can visualize the life and land throughout the Ashlands in this song through lyrics. Lyrics in the song include, "Even through the flames, even through the ashes in the sky." These lyrics can really help you envision how the Ash People live in an environment aspect.
In general, Avatar is praised for its amazing visuals, strong actors, and James Cameron's ability to make an enjoyable movie. But there are people who find that the story lacked proper depth, especially for the length. The new Fire Tribe felt not fleshed out, and the story felt just as, if not more, messy than the originals. Avatar is known for its amazing visuals that really put you into the world so unlike our own, but it's never been famous for its storytelling. Some say that part of the problem is that Avatar has failed to make you root and care for these characters, so the stakes just aren't there. Some believe the movie is too wrapped up in the point it's trying to make that it loses all sense of pacing. Some found the story lacked proper depth, especially for the length, and I think the fact you can find so many things lacking in the writing shows how flawed it really is. Because it wasn't one problem overshadowing the good, it was many little problems working together harming the movie. But at the end of the day, Avatar is about the spectacle. That's why people go see it. And that's why it can keep going despite a lackluster plot.
Yes, I totally agree with you on this. The project itself was visually stunning, no notes, but the story kind of felt repetitive. To me, it was an exact replica of the second film of the trilogy, Avatar: The Way of Water. Final battle on a boat, family is at risk, Spider is taken away, and the same old guy is always on the hunt for Jake. I mean, you can have a movie that looks visually stunning, but doesn't have an ounce of personality. Come on, James Cameron. Another thing to add is that the movie didn't have to be 3 hours and 30 minutes. It could have been 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes. Audiences complained that the story dragged a little too much this time around, but in the long run, it was a pleasing movie to watch. Get your popcorn, since it's argument o'clock. Now's the time when Ava and I will share our different opinions and defend our cases onto why we think it's just better.
This episode doesn't actually have a debate.
Dun dun dun.
Because both of us agreed we didn't love this movie, and we couldn't find anything we disagreed upon about it.
Yeah, we both agreed it dragged a little too much.
And it felt like a copy and paste from previous films. So,
get original.
This is our pitch on how we would have fixed this movie.
The first thing we would do to change this film is don't push the character's actions so far in a morally gray area, since Avatar: The Way of Water also focused on showing the imperfections of its adult characters. And with now the two movies together, there's more bad than good, and the first Avatar was so long ago that people forget why they liked these characters in the first place.
The second thing we would do is develop the characters as people as well as their thematic impact, especially the kids. They serve as symbols and representations more than people and characters you root for.
And the third and final thing we would do to make this movie a little bit better is Quaritch and Varong's partnership was a little bit unsatisfying, and it made me kind of ick. It was not good. It would have been something different seeing him with a lack of power and really stressing the Fire Clan as the new main villain of the series.
You can still have them be partners, but I don't think it's interesting enough to have them be equals, and the whole thing just feels like an evil version of Jake and Neytiri in the first movie. Avatar: Fire and Ash has been in theaters since December 17th and has made over $1 billion worldwide and is the second biggest global release of 2025. The number one biggest release was, of course, Zootopia 2. Avatar: Fire and Ash has a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, but a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, reflecting once again the controversy on whether the movie is worth seeing. Make sure to follow our Instagram at The Bulldog Tribune if you haven't already, so you can watch more Backstage Pass and let us know the next movie you want us to cover.
Bye-bye.
Bye.